Most of us only really think about our teeth when something's wrong, right? A sudden ache, a chipped tooth. But what if we started looking at our oral health as a story, one that begins the moment we're born? Let's walk through that whole journey from day one all the way through adulthood to see how to keep that smile healthy for life. And that is no exaggeration. According to the Mayo Clinic, we're not talking about some rare disease here. This is one of the most common health problems on the entire planet. It hits kids, teenagers, and older adults. Basically, if you've got teeth, you're at risk, which is exactly why we need a solid defense plan. That's the big question, isn't it? Does it start when you can finally hold your own toothbrush? Or maybe when your adult teeth show up? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It starts much, much earlier than most people would ever guess. It all comes down to this. The foundation for a healthy mouth is laid right from birth. The habits and the care that are put in place in those first few years, they don't just protect baby teeth. They literally set the stage for decades of healthy teeth and gums to come. Let's see how that works. So let's dive into that first super important year. This isn't just a waiting game for teeth to pop up. It's about actively creating a healthy environment for them to grow into. And believe it or not, the journey starts right at birth, long before you see a single tooth. You begin by just gently cleaning the infant's gums. Then, around the 6-month mark, that first little tooth makes its grand entrance. That's a huge moment, and it signals that another milestone is right around the corner. By their first birthday, it's time for their very first trip to the dentist. See how each step builds on the last? Okay, so let's break this down into simple steps. Before any teeth, you're just wiping the gums. It gets rid of bacteria and gets the baby used to the feeling. The second a tooth pops through, you graduate to a soft, tiny little toothbrush. And check out how much toothpaste we're talking about. Just a tiny smear about the size of a single grain of rice. That's all it takes to get the amazing protective benefits of fluoride safely. And that first dental visit is so critical because it establishes something called a dental home. Now, this isn't just a one-and-done checkup. It's about building a relationship with a dental team from the very beginning. Think about it. This makes future visits so much less scary for the child, and it lets the dentist spot any potential issues right from the get-go. Oh, this is a huge one. Baby bottled tooth decay is a serious problem. It happens when sugary drinks like milk, formula, or juice just pool around a baby's teeth for hours while they sleep. It's the absolute perfect storm for cavities. The fix is so simple. If they need a bottle to soothe them at bedtime, just fill it with plain water. Okay, so as kids grow out of that baby stage, the goal shifts. It's less about basic care and more about building positive, consistent habits that are gonna last a lifetime. This is where we lock in the routines that'll carry them all the way through their teenage years. And notice the change. That tiny grain of rice amount of toothpaste now gets an upgrade to a pea-sized amount once they're over 2. But just because they can hold the brush themselves doesn't mean they're ready to fly solo. You've got to supervise them to make sure they're actually cleaning their teeth properly and not just, swallowing all the toothpaste. Let's be real, brushing your teeth can feel like a total chore for a kid. But it doesn't have to be. You can turn it into a 2-minute dance party or a superhero mission against the cavity villains. Heck, even just letting them pick out their own cool toothbrush can change everything. It flips the script from something they have to do to something they actually want to do. And while all those songs and games are fantastic, this quote points to what is probably the single most powerful tool you have, your own example. When your kids see you brushing and flossing like it's just a normal, non-negotiable part of your day, they are so much more likely to do the same. All right, fast forward. The habits are built. As adults, our job is to keep that momentum going, but with a crystal clear understanding of what we're actually fighting against. It's time to get to know the enemy. So, meet the main villain, dental plaque. It's this nasty, sticky, invisible film of bacteria that is constantly trying to form on your teeth. Think of it this way. Every time you eat or drink something with sugar or starch, you're not just feeding yourself, you're feeding this army of bacteria. And what they produce in return is the real problem. See, that plaque churns out acid, and that acid acts like a tiny corrosive drill, just eating away at the hard, protective outer layer of your tooth, the enamel. If you let it go, that acid drills deeper and hits the softer layer inside, called dentin. That's when you start feeling that zinging sensitivity, and if it gets all the way to the pulp, where the nerves are, well, then you're in for a world of hurt. But plaque is fighting a war on 2 fronts. It's not just about your teeth, it's also attacking your gums. This is where we see 2 very different stages. It all starts with gingivitis. That's the early warning sign. Your gums might look a little red, maybe swollen, or they bleed when you brush. Now here's the most important part. At this stage, it is completely reversible. But if you ignore it, it can progress to periodontitis, and that is serious. The gums literally pull away from the teeth, creating these pockets that get infected, and it can lead to permanent bone and tooth loss. The difference is huge. One is a warning sign, the other is irreversible damage. So, what's in your defensive toolkit against all this? Well, it's a mix of daily habits and long-term strategy. Brushing twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing every single day are your absolute non-negotiables. That's how you break up the plaque. But you also have to cut off the enemy's supply line, which means limiting the sugary foods and drinks that feed those bacteria. And finally, you need professional backup. Regular cleanings are essential to get rid of any plaque that's hardened into tartar, because that stuff you just can't remove at home. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful public health tools we have, something that works quietly in the background, like a silent guardian for all of our teeth. For more than 70 years, simply adjusting the natural fluoride levels in community water has been an absolute game changer. It's been so successful, in fact, that the CDC called it one of the 10 greatest public health achievements of the entire 20th century. And if you want proof, just look at the numbers. Communities that have fluoridated water see about a 25% drop in tooth decay. That is a massive impact from one simple, passive measure. It works because it's constantly bathing our teeth in low levels of fluoride, helping to rebuild and strengthen that enamel shield. But what's really amazing about it is how fair it is. The beauty of water fluoridation is that it helps absolutely everyone, no matter how old you are, how much money you make, or where you live. It's a simple, super cost-effective way to give an entire population a huge leg up when it comes to oral health. As we start to bring this all together, it is so important to understand that everything we've talked about, it goes way beyond just having pretty teeth. This is fundamentally about your overall health. Because an untreated cavity is never ever just a hole in a tooth. It can become a source of constant pain that makes it hard to eat, which can then lead to problems with nutrition. But it can get way, way more serious than that. In some cases, the infection from a bad tooth can actually spread through your body and become a life-threatening problem. It's the ultimate proof that your mouth is connected to the rest of you. At the end of the day, your oral health really is a window, a direct reflection of your overall health. It's a powerful signal. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What is your smile and your oral health telling you right now?